What is going on, YouTube people? Got a little bit of a wild, weird one today. I don't know, let's talk about it. So, this was going around the old interwebs on Friday morning / afternoon. This gentleman that goes by Cardboard Gems over on the old TikTok machine, looks like Mason Ray is his full name, posted a TikTok about how GameStop / PSA lost, wait for it, his PSA order that was worth $375,000. $375,000. That is massive. Old Rattle Pokemon did a video on it yesterday. That's how I ended up hearing about it, and a few other people had sent Rattle's video my way as well. He had either obtained or found on the internet a memo that said temporarily pause on PSA shipments in regards to GameStop. You can see it on the screen there. So I watched this, and I don't know what happened. Like, he doesn't give a whole lot of details on what went sideways. He doesn't give a list of the cards. I don't know what cards were involved. The only cards that he mentions, and it's not even in the video, it's in the comments of the video, which he's posted 2 updates on this to this point, that it sounds like at least one of them, or maybe multiple of them, he keeps citing a Luke Skywalker. The 1977 was in the submission, and that's really the only details that he gives on it. So I'm not saying GameStop didn't lose $375,000 worth of his cards, but I just need to see a little bit more before I run with the narrative that they did. Now, I think they lost something. I'm just not sure that I'm buying the 375K number. At least show me a list. Like, I would want to see the list of cards first. I did do a little poking around on this. This was not company wide. It was a handful of stores, I think, in the area where this happened, and has since been opened back up again. So GameStop is once again shipping cards to PSA from the impacted stores. The sneaking suspicion that I get, just based off reading through some of the comments and just trying to glean some things from his video and the other update that he did, it almost makes me think, and especially on the wording on the memo, I wonder if this was a FedEx issue, or whoever. I'm assuming they're using FedEx. I wonder if this was an issue where the cards got handed off to FedEx and then disappeared in FedEx's hands. That would not be the first time that we've seen that. Maybe it's a case that the GameStop employee, shoved them in his backpack and ran out the door with them. I don't know. He did say in the video that he called the police. I'll just go ahead and play this. It's not very long. Let me fire up the desktop audio for y'all.
I submitted a PSA order to GameStop, and here's how it went. They lost the package and the declared value, $375,000. Let's see how it goes. The police are on their way now. I'll keep you updated.
So he did one update after that, but it really didn't shine much light on anything. But lost the package makes me think that either A, they boxed it up and it never made it to the shipper, or B, it got to the shipper and then it disappeared. Those to me seem like the 2 most logical outcomes on what went sideways here. Now, I still have some questions on the $375,000 in declared value. So, through GameStop, you are supposed to submit TCG at $200 declared value, and other card grading up to $500 is $19 per card. You can submit cards higher than that. You absolutely can. This is just the max declared value that they allow, and then they will upcharge you if the card is more expensive. There is specific details in here, if you look at the FAQ, that says, you know, what if my card is worth more? Here it is right here. What happens if my item exceeds the maximum declared value? If your item exceeds max declared value, PSA charges additional fees to grade the items. That charge will be communicated to you via email. So I saw some pushback in his comments about, well, how would you send $375,000 worth of cards? That's like thousands of cards because your max value is $200 or $500. You can really send whatever you want. I don't know that he got to 375K in actual declared value on the submission paper. If that makes sense, his cards hypothetically may have been worth 375,000, but the max declared value I doubt was for that amount, just based off of the max that they're going to do per card on a GameStop order is $500. So even if you submit a $50,000 card, the max declared value on it's going to be $500. You know, GameStop is not going to get into the weeds on declared value on this stuff. So there's just a lot of things here that are not making sense to me. Like, the math just ain't mathing out. I don't know what happened. I don't know that the value is exactly what he set it at. I have a lot of follow-up questions. Let's just put it that way, based off the limited information that we have. What I do know is submissions were paused in a limited manner for a handful of stores. Those have now reopened. So this, while accurate at one point in time, is not currently what is going on. All GameStops have begun shipping again. The most likely outcome, my guess, is either the package went missing once it was boxed up in the GameStop employee's hands or in FedEx's hands. Now, in an updated video that he did in the comment section, which is another weird thing, he was talking about taking a settlement from GameStop for $11,000. If you're saying in one thing that it is $375,000, why would you take a settlement for $275,000? Let's see. We actually pull up his other one here.
Hello, this is an update. After dealing with the police officer, he's pulling the information from the local GameStop store from the video surveillance system and interrogating the employees. I'm on the phone with corporate yet again, and they're searching for my order yet again, and they're not documenting a single phone call. Nothing's documented. This is the third time I've called, and they don't know who I am.
So that was his second update video, which once again is semi-vague. Now, this is where over on the side, you know, what cards did you submit? He says 77 Star Wars. So maybe it was a complete set. I don't know. Because even the Luke in a PSA 10, I guess if a PSA 10, that's a pretty big card. So here's the comment that I was looking for. He talks about the vintage Star Wars cards. I might be looking at a settlement of $11K for 22 cards, but I may pursue them in court for more. I mean, $11K is not close to $375,000. Like, so once again, the math just isn't quite mathing out on this one. Unless maybe he submitted like an entire set of 77 and he's running under the assumption that they're all going to PSA 10. I don't know. And he's just looking at that as the value for it. I don't know. Like I said, we are missing a ton of information on this one. Obviously, something happened. A package of cards went missing. I'm just not sure I'm buying the $375,000 number. And maybe I'm completely wrong on that. But it does appear cards 100% or most likely went missing in this, given the GameStop email that shows they were pausing submissions. Makes it look like something disappeared somewhere, I'm just not sure the $375,000 amount. Call me a little cynical on that one. And like I said, what I think most likely happened is the cards got boxed up and either never made it to FedEx's hands, which, in the one video he talks about, the police looking at security cam footage, you would see that, or they got to FedEx's hands, or whoever, I shouldn't say FedEx, whoever the delivery service provider is, most likely FedEx, got in their hands and then disappeared from there. That would obviously not be the first time that would happen. And if that's what happened, that is a risk of grading cards. It doesn't matter who you use. I saw a lot of comments on this and just other social about this program and group submitting in general. And a lot of people were commenting, well, a lot of people don't feel comfortable shipping their cards to PSA, so they would rather go through a group submitter. Okay? How do you think your group submitter, or how do you think Gamestop is getting them to PSA? They're shipping them with FedEx or USPS or UPS or DHL or, insert other carrier here. They're shipping them too. So just by going and using a group submitter does not mean that the cards just magically appear in PSA. Now, if you have someone local to the PSA office in California or New Jersey, different story. There are group submitters that drop off in person. But you still have to get your card to that person. What that means, you also either live in California or Jersey, or you're shipping them to that person. And then they're walking them into PSA, and then they still got to get them back to you. So even though you're dropping cards off in person at GameStop, they don't just magically go through a little portal to the PSA grading room. They're still shipping them off. So the shipping risk is still involved. And I get it. The GameStop PSA collaboration, specifically the GameStop side of it, is an easy punching bag. It is easy to reach out and punch it in the face because it's GameStop. There's tons of things to pick apart there. Would I use this service myself? No, absolutely not. Do I think most people are going to have a perfectly fine, reasonable experience with this service? Most likely. Are we going to hear about everything in the 1% to 2% of something going sideways? Absolutely. Because it's easy. It is an easy target. And if they screwed something up, justifiably so, I'll sit here and make a video trashing them for it. I just don't think we know yet what went sideways here. And we may never know. Was GameStop at fault? Possibly. Was the deliverer at fault? Also possibly. I think it's in one of those two camps. And then I have some questions around the $375,000 amount. Like, what were the cards? Were you just automatically assuming they were going to PSA 10? What's the deal with the 11K settlement on 22 cards? Was it, how many cards were submitted? That's the other thing that he never says. We don't know how many cards were actually submitted with this. So I have a lot of questions on both sides, to be quite honest with you. So anyway, I wanted to do a video about this because I saw it getting a ton of traction on the net. And I did, like I said, a little bit of my own research in regards to the PSA GameStop submission processes. Are those still paused? Are they ongoing? And then just did some digging through the comment sections and around some other places. So like I said, I do think something happened. Some cards went missing for sure. I'm not sure I buy that number. And was it a GameStop employee? Maybe. Was it a FedEx employee? UPS, USPS, whoever they use? Possibly as well. I think it's just as likely. Hell, take it next level. Maybe it was an inside job. Maybe the GameStop employee has the same FedEx driver every day, or UPS, or whatever they are. And they're buddy-buddy. And he taps the box 3 times before he hands it to him. And that signals to the driver, that's the one you want. Who knows? Who knows? Well, the security camera might know. If everything looks clean, handing it off to the security camera, and then that you know. The biggest reason why I keep going back to the carrier is this. Why would you pause shipments across multiple stores if it was a single employee in one store? If that makes sense to y'all. According to the information I've been able to piece together, it was a small group of stores, which my guess were probably all in the same area. Maybe the same delivery driver. Maybe. Don't know. Maybe. I'm pure hypothetical here. Pause it in a small limited number of stores, and then they quickly reopen it again afterwards. If it was if GameStop was concerned about an employee at a single building, I would assume they wouldn't close it off at multiple stores pending an investigation. And I don't know that all the stores were in the same area. That's also me taking an educated guess on that one. So, as always, curious for your thoughts and comments down below. If I hear or find anything else on this, I'll update you guys either in a secondary video or in the weekly sports card market update or whatever. That's all I got for this one. Catch you on the next one. Peace.